Hello, how are you? I'm fine, thank you. Sit down, please. I would like to speak English today too, to improve my speaking skill. Let's get it started. It is March 6th, 2020. All the flights were cancelled due to typhoon. All the flights were cancelled due to natural disaster. All the students were notified of the cancellation of the school due to typhoon. All the workers were informed of working at home as remote work due to the natural disaster. I will accept all those who are polite and have the requirements. Do you like all foods? All of the foods were eaten by him. All of the foods were eaten by him. Every meal was eaten by him. Every student knows how to solve the problems, questions in this class. Every student is from Japan in this class. Every student has a smartphone in this class. Every student has a smartphone nowadays. Every coworker doesn't like to go for a drink after work. Every my coworker doesn't like to go for a drink after work. Every my colleague doesn't like to go for a drink after work. Every driver is strictly prohibited to drive without seatbelt. Every driver is strictly prohibited to drive without wearing seatbelt. Every driver is strictly ordered to fasten their seatbelt. Every driver is strictly ordered to fasten their seatbelt before driving, before start the car. Every luggage must be dropped off at the dropping counter. Every luggage must be checked before boarding them into the plane. Every person has to get a passport before going abroad, before going out of their native country. Every person is needed to get a passport before going out of their country, before going abroad. Every citizen was requested not to go outside. Every student was ordered to take the examination as a preparation for entrance examination. Every seat was taken when I arrived at the stadium. When I arrived at the stadium, every seat was taken, so I watched the game standing. Every girl in this class has a smartphone. Every girl in this class likes one guy. Every girl in this class loves the guy. Every boy in this class likes to play video games. Every boy in this class likes to play video games. Every computer in this store has Core i7. Every computer in this store has Core i9. Okay? All water can be drunk in this city. All passengers have to go through the immigration. All passengers have to declare if they bring food into the country. All passengers have to declare if they bring food into the country. All the wine was drunk by him. All the water was drunk by him. All the information is wrong. All the information given from the company was wrong. All the advice was useful. All the information I got from you was very useful, helpful. All the advice I got from my parents was very beneficial, helpful, very useful. All the information I obtained from the media was incorrect. Every information I got from the media was incorrect. Every water was drunk by him. Every wine was drunk by her. Every money was spent on gambling. Every money stolen from the bank was used on gambling and investment on stock. All money stolen from the bank was spent on buying video games. All the money stolen from the bank was sent to another country. All the information released from the company was wrong. All the furniture I bought from IKEA was nice. All the furniture come with a set of needles and so on, which are needed to set up the furniture. All the furniture sold at this store is very reasonable. All the menu sold at the restaurant is very reasonable and very tasty. All the luggage must follow the airline's regulation. All the luggage must be dropped off at the drop-in counter before boarding the plane. Every luggage is being loading on the plane. Every luggage is being carried on the plane into the plane. Every luggage we dropped is being carried into the plane now. All customers are eligible for the goods. Every customer is eligible for buying the goods with 20% off. Every customer with the member's card can buy the goods 20% off the price. All customers with the member's card can enjoy playing in the playground. Every customer with the purchase of more than 10,000 yen can get free shipping. All shoppers can get a portable tissue paper when they finish the shopping. I used to take on all jobs I was offered. I used to take on every job I was offered. I used to take on all jobs I was offered. I used to take on every job I was offered. I used to take all jobs I was offered. But I am not a Superman. I cannot take on all of them now. Time is limited. It is 24 hours in a day. I cannot do all of the jobs at once. Do you like all of them? I like all of the goods sold at the restaurant, sold at the store. How many pieces of pens do you want? I want 3. All information I got from my friend was correct. All the advice I got from my friend was very useful. All the advice I got from my grandparents was very informative. Every information I got from the media was wrong. Every advice I got from my teacher was very useful in the long run. Every information I got from the book was correct. Please do not believe every information from TV. Please do not believe everything on TV. Please do not believe every information from TV. Please do not believe all information from TV or internet. Please do not believe every advice from TV. Please do not believe in all advice from TV. All information was informed to the citizens. Every new information was informed to the citizens. Every new employee is requested to take training. Every new employee is needed to take the training. New employee training. All new employees are required to take the training before they start their job. We have the things that we have to achieve, which is that we have to sell all of the goods by next month. All of the goods are needed to be sold by next month. Every good on the display must be sold by next month. When is the use by date? Only 3 days left before the use by date, so we have to eat all of the food by 3 days later. In 3 days later, we have to eat every food by 3 days later. All the luggage must be checked before loading them into the plane. All the baggage must be inspected before loading them into the plane. All passengers have to go through the immigration. All the passengers have to go through the immigration. Every passenger must go through customs. Every passenger must go through the customs. I would like to buy every furniture sold at the store. I would like to buy all the furniture sold at the store. I would like to buy all the wine sold at the store. I would like to buy every wine sold at the store. All snow will melt tomorrow. Every snow will melt tomorrow. All snow will melt by tomorrow. Every snow will melt by tomorrow. All snow stacked up on the street will melt by tomorrow. Every snow stacked up on the street will melt by tomorrow. All the foods will be eaten by next week. Every food will be eaten by next week. All of the toilet papers will be consumed by next week. Every toilet paper will be consumed by next month. My family finished using every toilet paper I bought 3 months ago. My family finished using toilet paper, every toilet paper I bought 3 months ago. My family finished using all of the toilet papers I bought 3 months ago. I finished consuming all of the toilet papers I bought 4 months ago. I finished consuming every toilet paper I bought a week ago. All toilet papers were used up by me. Every toilet paper I bought 2 months ago was used up by me. Every laugh is related to something in our heart. All laugh is related to something in our heart. Something warm in my heart. Something warm in our heart. All evil spirit is driven away. Every evil spirit is driven away. All evil spirit should be driven away. Every evil spirit should be driven away. How often do you go to the library? I go to the library 3 times a day. 3 times a day is too much, so frequent. No, I'm joking. Actually, I go to the library every other day. Every other day. It's also frequent too. Every other day. Every second day. Every second day. Every 2 days. Every second day. Every 2 weeks. 2 days. I used to go to the restaurant every other day, every second day, every 2 days. I used to visit my uncle every other week, every second week, every 2 weeks. I used to go to the gym every other month, every 2 months, every second month. I used to go abroad every other year, every 2 years, every second year. Every other week, every second week, every 2 weeks, every other month, every second month, every 2 months, every other year, every second year, every 2 years. I go to McDonald's every 3 weeks. Every 3 weeks, every third week, every third week. I go to McDonald's every 2 weeks, every second week, every other week. How often do you study at home? I study at home every other day, every 2 days, every second day. I study at home every 3 days, every third day. I study at home every fourth day, every 4 days. I study at home every 5 days, every 5th day. I study at home every 6th day, every 6 days. I practice baseball. I play baseball game every other day, every second day, every 2 days. I have club activity. I have soccer club activity every other day, every second day, every 2 days. I have a day off every 7 days, every seventh day. I have 2 day days off. I have a 2 day days off. I have 2 day days off every 7 days, every seventh day. How often do you have a day off? I have a day off every seventh day, every 7 days. How often do you have a day off? I have 2 day days off every 7 days, every seventh day. Saturday and Sunday. Okay. How often do you go to Universal Studios Japan? I go to Universal Studios Japan every other month, every second month, every 2 months. How often do you go to Tokyo Disneyland? I go to Tokyo Disneyland every other year, every second year, every 2 years. How often do you eat out? I eat out every other week, every second week, every 2 weeks. How often do you study at the library? I study at the library every 3 days, every third day, every third day. I study at the library every 4 days, every fourth day. I study at the library every fifth day, every 5 days. How often do you study extra at your school? I study extra overtime every other week, every 2 weeks, every second week. How about you? I do nothing. I never do that. So I am proud of you. How often do you go to onsen facility? I go to onsen facility every other day, every second day, every 2 days in winter. And in the summer, I go to onsen facility every other month, every second month, every 2 months. Because it is hot in summer and it is very comfortable in winter to warm me up in winter. Onsen is one of the good ways to make me warm in cold winter. Why don't you try it? Have you tried? Have you experienced onsen? Please wash your body before entering bathtub. This is Japanese rule. And when you enter bathtub, please do not soak the towel into it. It is rule 2. How often do you take a trip to another prefecture? I go to another prefecture. I take a trip to another prefecture every other month, every 2 months, every second month. How about you? I take a trip to another prefecture in Japan every other year, every second year, every 2 years. It depends on my schedule. When I'm very busy, I cannot go often. But when I can get paid leave from my company, I take a trip to another prefecture in Japan every other month, every second month, every 2 months. I used to go abroad frequently, like every other month, every 2 months, every second month. How often do you go to? How often do you go abroad? I go abroad every other year, every second year, every 2 years. I buy a new computer, laptop computer, every 3 years, every third year. I buy a new desktop computer every 4 years, every fourth year. I buy a new TV set every 5 years, every fifth year. I buy a new bicycle for my health every 5 years, every fifth year. I clean my washing machine every other month, every second month, every 2 months. How often do you wash your washing machine? It is washing machine cleans our clothes very clean, but the washing machine is also needed to be cleaned by us because the inside is getting dirty if we don't clean it. How often do you clean your washing machine? I clean my washing machine every 2 months, every second month, every other month. I sometimes very busy and I cannot wash my washing machine like that. Sometimes I wash my washing machines and when I'm very busy every 4 months, every fourth month. I know I have to clean my washing machine every other month, every second month, every 2 months. But I cannot do that sometimes when I am very busy. When I'm very busy. Every other week, every second week, every 2 weeks, every other month, every second month, every 2 months, every other year, every second year, every 2 years. How often do you eat outside? I eat out every other day, every 2 days, every second day. Oh, it's frequent. How often do you go for a drink with your colleagues? I go for a drink with my coworkers every other week, every 2 weeks, every second week. How often does your boss get angry? My boss gets angry every day. She gets angry at even a subtle thing. She gets angry at even a subtle thing. So almost everything will make her angry. So we had better not approach her at all times, as possible as I can. No weapons can be brought in the luggage. No weapons can be brought in the plane. No passengers are allowed to bring more than 2 pieces of carry-on luggage into the plane. No passengers are allowed to bring more than 2 pieces of luggage, carry-on luggage, into the plane. No passengers are allowed to bring weapons into the plane. No passengers are allowed to bring more than 2 pieces of baggage into the plane. No passengers are allowed to deposit their luggage more than limitation. No passengers are allowed to deposit their luggage beyond the with more than the limitation, beyond the limitation size, beyond the limitation size, limited size. Is your luggage okay? Please check the size of your luggage before you deposit your luggage at the drop-in counter. Thank you. Unless you might be rejected to drop off your luggage at the counter. So please check your luggage and check if your luggage is meet our regulation size. Our regulation. Please check if your luggage meets our limitation and regulation. No water can be drunk in this country. No tap water can be drunk in this prefecture. No tap water can be drunk in this country. No person without making any mistakes. No person doesn't make a mistake. No person is perfect. No person is perfect. Everyone make mistakes. Everyone can make a mistake. Yeah. No people under 20 are allowed to drink alcohol in Japan. No people under 20 years old are allowed to drink alcohol and smoke cigarette in Japan. No people under 20 years old are allowed to drink alcohol and smoke cigarette. No people under 17 years old have a right to vote in Japan. No people under 17 years old are allowed to vote for politician in Japan. No people under 17 years old is eligible for voting. No people under 17 years old have the right to vote. No children is taller than him. No children is taller than him. No children is taller than him. No children have more CDs than him. No children have more CDs than him. No students in the class have more books than her. No mountains are taller than Mount Fuji. No mountains in Japan are bigger than Mount Fuji. No mountains in Japan are higher than Mount Fuji. Mount Fuji is the highest mountain in Japan. No mountains in Japan is higher than Mount Fuji. No lakes in Japan is larger than Lake Biwa. No lakes in Japan is larger than Lake Biwa. No lakes in Japan is deeper than Lake Tazawa. No lakes in Japan is deeper than Lake Tazawa. No rivers in Japan are longer than Shinano River. No rivers in Japan are longer than Shinano River. No river in Japan is longer than Shinano River. No rivers in Japan are longer than Shinano River. No student is wiser than him. No students are clever than him. No food is tastier than this fruit. No chocolate has better quality than this. No singer can sing better than him. No musician can play this song better than him, better than the artist. No singers in the world can sing this song better than her. No pianist in the world can play this song better than her. No hamburger is tastier than this hamburger served at the restaurant. No people earn much more than him. No people earn 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 them. No people earn more than him. No more sugar should be added into your coffee. You already add enough sugar into it. No sugar should be added into your coffee because you already added enough sugar in it. If you add more, it will be very bad for your health. No more sugar should be added into your coffee. No more sugar should be added into your coffee. Not sugar. No more sugar should be included into your coffee, tea. No snacks is healthy. No snacks are healthy for your health. No snacks are good for your health. No snacks are good for your health. No gamblings are good for you. No gamblings are good for you. No spending money on gambling is good for you. No spending money on gambling is good for you. No masks are sold at the moment. No masks are sold at the moment because they are sold out everywhere at stores. No masks are sold right now at the moment because customers bought all of them. So masks are out of stock at every store. At all stores. Masks are sold out at all stores. Masks are sold out at every store in Japan. In the world, maybe. No masks are sold at the moment. No masks are sold in all stores in Japan. No masks are sold at every store in Japan right now for the time being. No masks are sold at all stores in Japan. No masks are sold in every store in Japan. No mountains are higher than Mount Fuji. No mountains are higher than Mount Fuji. No children are taller than him. No singers in the world can sing this song better than him. No pianist in the world can play this song better than her. No pianist in the world can play this song more beautiful than her. I have no energy. I have no water. I have no money in my world. I had no money in my world, so I could not buy PlayStation 4 at the electric store, at the video game store. I wanted to buy PlayStation 4, but I had no money in my wallet, and even not credit card. There was no child in the park. There were no children in the park. When I passed by the park, there was no child in the park. There were no children in the park. Is there some milk left in the bottle? No, there is none. I wanted to buy the video game, which was started to sell recently, but it was sold out. There was none left in the video game shop. I see. Maybe next time it will be produced soon. It will be supplied soon. Don't worry. Is there any water left in the bottle? No, there is no water left. Are there something I can eat in the refrigerator? No, there are none. There are no food left in the refrigerator. Is there ice cream I bought yesterday? Yes, there is. I will keep it, and I will tell the other members not to eat it. I have some books related to economics. I have some books with respect to regarding geology, psychology, science fiction, philosophy, anthropology, archaeology, physics. Do you like physics? Do you have a book with regard to physics? Regarding physics. About physics. I have many books about physics. I have many books about physics, on physics. I have no books about mathematics. I have no books about English on English. I have no textbook for playing the violin. I have no textbooks for playing the piano. I have no computer in my house. I have no TV in my house. I have no TV in my house. I have no energy right now. I've just finished my club activity. I'm so tired. Only I want is to sleep now, but I cannot sleep on the road. I will be die. I will be run over the car when I sleep here. I won't do that. There is no water left in the bottle. There is no wine left in the bottle. There are some shops which are selling the goods you want to buy. I know some shops that offer the goods much cheaper than this store. Tutti? Really? I used to pay no attention to what my parents told me. I used to pay no attention to what the professor was saying. I used to pay no attention to my parents. I used to pay no attention to professors at the university. You paid no attention to me. That's why you got the accident. You were involved in the accident. That's why you were engaged in the accident. You were no careless. You were no careless. You were no careless of driving. You were no careless of driving. You were no careless of me. You were no careless of my attention, my advice. You paid no attention to what I said. You paid no attention to my advice. You washed no plates at all. You washed no plates, but I washed all of the plates while you are sleeping. You paid no plates. You washed no plates. You washed no dishes. You washed no dishes. You washed no dishes. You cleaned no rooms. You cleaned no rooms. You cleaned no room. You cleaned no room. You cleaned no rooms. I paid no visit. I paid no visit. I paid no visit. I paid no visit. I took no trip to foreign countries. I took no trip to foreign countries. I took no trip to a foreign country this year. I have no water. I have no confidence after the mistake. I have no confidence after the mistake. Everyone will lose confidence after some mistakes. I have no confidence after making the mistake. I have no confidence after making the mistake. I have no confidence after making the mistake. There used to be no tree in front of the post office. There used to be no trees in front of the post office. There used to be no lights at the store. There used to be no lights at the store. Now that they have the lights on, it's very easy to park our cars, right? Yes. There used to be no lights at the store. There used to be no lights at my home. There used to be no lights at my home, at my garage. But now that we have lights at my garage, it's very easy to park my car. There is no wine left in the bottle. There is no coffee left in the cup. There is no money left in my wallet. There is no student in the class. There is no student in the class. When I went back to my school to to get my notebook, there was no student. There were no students. When I went back to school to get back my notebook, textbooks, homework, there were no students in the classroom. There was no student in the classroom. When I went back to my school to get back my homework, there was no students in the class. There were no students in the classroom. When I went back to my school to have back my homework, which I forgot to bring back to my home, there was no student in the classroom. There were no students in the classroom. None of the buses go to Narita Airport. None of the trains go to Narita Airport. None of the buses go to Osaka Station. None of the trains go to Osaka Station. JR Osaka Station. None of the students could answer the questions given from the teacher. None of the students failed in the entrance examination. None of the students failed in the examination. None of the students made a mistake. None of the students made a mistake. Perfect. None of the sound played by her made me angry. None of the attitude taken by her made me angry, made me feel bad. When I passed by the park, there was none. When I passed by the park, but there was none. I wanted to meet my friend at his house, but when I visited him, there was none at home. There was none at home. When I went to the shopping mall to buy masks, there were none. They were all sold out. When I went to the shopping mall to buy masks, there were none. I wanted to buy the product, but there was none in the store. I wanted to buy the computer on sale, but there was none. I wanted to buy the new bread, but there was none at the bakery shop. I wanted to practice speaking English at the English cafe, but there was none. Is there some milk left? There is none. Is there some money left in the wallet? No, there is none. Are there someone who can speak Spanish? No, there are none. Are there someone who can speak French at your workplace? No, there are none. Are there somewhere we can eat around your home? Yes, there are. There are some restaurants around my house, within walking distance. Okay, let's go there. Is there someone who can speak Chinese in your workplace? No, there is none. Is there someone who are familiar with computer? Yes. My best friend is familiar with computer. When it comes to computer, no one is better. No one is more perfect than him. No one is as familiar with computer as him. No one is as familiar with computer as him. No one is more familiar with computer than him. Are there some children in the park? No, there are none. Are there some students studying in the classroom yet? Are there some students studying in the classroom? No, there are none. Are there some students in the classroom? No, there are none. Are there some students in the classroom now? No, there are none. Are there some students studying in the classroom now? No, there are none. Are there still some bread that I can buy? at the bakery shop? No, there are none. I wanted to buy the bread which was made which is newly released, but there was none at the bakery shop. I wanted to buy the fresh bread in this morning, but there was none at the bakery shop. I wanted to buy the fresh bread which was just baked from the bakery shop by the bakery shop, but there was none. I wanted to buy the fresh bread which was just baked, but there was none. They were all sold out. I wanted to buy detergent which is on sale, actually half price, but there was none. They were all sold out. I wanted to buy the watch on sale with 50% off the price, but there was none. When I went to the shopping mall, there were many sets of toilet paper on display, but when I went to the shopping mall after my work, there were none. When I went to the shopping mall to find what I want to buy, I still found out it at the store. But when I came back to the shopping mall again after my work, there was none. The company will hire none of the candidates. I will vote for none of the candidates. I will vote for none of the presidential candidates. None of the presidential candidates are well reputed. None of the presidential candidates are well reputed. None of the projects are going well. None of the products we started to sell are selling well. None of the companies are going well. None of the buses go to city center. None of the buses go downtown. None of the trains go Liverpool. None of the trains go to Victoria. None of the buses go to France. None of the colleagues don't like to go for a drink after work. None of my colleagues don't like to have a drink after work. None of my colleagues don't like to have a drink after work. None of my coworkers don't like to have a drink after work, of course. None of the buses go downtown. None of the buses go downtown. None of the buses go downtown. None of the students could answer the question given from the teacher. It is too difficult for them to answer. I know, it is too difficult for them to answer. So why did the teacher give such a difficult question to them? None of the students could solve the questions. None of the examinees could answer such a difficult question given by the university. None of the examinees could answer such a difficult question given by the university. None of the examinees could answer such a difficult question given by the university. None of the examinees could answer such a difficult question given by the university. None of the examinees could answer such a difficult question given by the university. None of the examinees could answer such a difficult question given by the university. None of the examinees could answer the question. None of the families are familiar with computer. None of my relatives are familiar with computer. None of my families are familiar with semiconductor. None of my relatives are familiar with semiconductor. None of the buses go to city center. None of the trains go to city center. None of the ferries go to Wanchai. None of the goods sold at this store is more than 10,000 yen, 100 yen. None of the goods sold at this store is under 10,000 yen. None of the policies issued by the government are well reputed. None of the policies issued by the government are well reputed. None of the measures taken by the government are well reputed. None of the measures taken by the government are well reputed. None of the measures taken by the government are praised. None of the researchers know how to deal with the problem. None of the researchers know how to solve the problem. None of the doctors know how to deal with the disease. None of the doctors know how to deal with the disease. None of the doctors know how to cure the disease. None of the doctors know how to cure the disease. None of the doctors know how to treat the disease. None of the doctors know how to treat the disease. None of the doctors know how to treat the disease. None of the doctors know how to treat the disease. None of the doctors know how to treat the disease. None of the doctors know how to cure the disease. None of the doctors know how to cure the disease. None of the doctors know how to cure the disease. None of the doctors know how to cure the disease. None of the politicians know how to make the economy better. None of the politicians know how to make the economy better. None of my co-workers can speak English. None of my colleagues can speak Chinese. None of my co-workers can speak English. None of my co-workers can speak English. None of my co-workers can speak German. None of my co-workers like to have drink after work. None of my co-workers like to have drink after work. None of my co-workers like to have drink after work. None of my colleagues love to have a drink after work. None of my co-workers like to have drink after work. None of my co-workers love to have drink after work. None of my co-workers like to clean toilet. None of my colleagues like to clean toilet. She is none other than an artist. She is none other than a university student. She is none other than a comedian. She is none other than an actress. This is none other than a pen. This is none other than a pen. We are none other than a human. It is none other than a USB cable. It is none other than a USB cable. It is none other than a mistake. 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 None other than. None other than. None other than. None other than. It is none other than a lie. It is none other than a lie. It is none other than a fraud. It is none other than a fraud. Your business is none other than a fraud. Your business is none other than a fraud. Your business is none other than a fraud. Deceiving people and stealing money from customers. Not people, innocent people. Your business is none other than a fraud. Tokyo is none other than the capital of Japan. Tokyo is none other than the capital of Japan. He is none other than an artist. He is none other than an artist. An artist. It is none other than 6 years. It is none other than 6 years. It is none other than a smile. It is none other than a cup. It is none other than a cup. It is none other than a lie. It is none other than an error. 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 This is none other than a computer. This is none other than a computer. This is none other than a computer. This is none other than a pen. This is none other than a pen. This is none other than a pen. It is none other than a mistake. It is none other than a mistake. It is none other than a pen. This is none other than a pen. This is none other than a pen. It is none other than a mistake. It is none other than a mistake. It is none other than a mistake. It is none other than a fraud. Your business is none other than a failure. Your business is none other than a failure. Your business is none other than a success. None other than. She is none other than an actress. She is none other than a comedian. The man I saw on the street in Tokyo was none other than the artist. The shining object in the sky was none other than the star. The shining object in the sky was none other than a plane. The shining object in the sky was none other than a plane. The shining object in the sky was none other than a star. The shining object in the sky was none other than a star. He is second to none in terms of video games. He is second to none when it comes to programming C. He is second to none in terms of programming C. She is second to none when it comes to playing the piano. She is second to none when it comes to playing the violin. He is second to none when it comes to eating food butter. He is second to none when it comes to arm wrestling. His playing skill is second to none. His playing skill is second to none. His piano playing skill is second to none. His skill at playing the piano is second to none. His playing skill of piano is second to none. This hamburger steak is second to none in the world. This pasta is second to none. This ramen is second to none. This sushi is second to none. I am second to none as to Gran Turismo. I am second to none when it comes to programming C. You are second to none in terms of the number of books you have. You are second to none when it comes to the number of the books that you have in your home. This fancy chair is not second to none. This fancy chair is second to none. This spaghetti is second to none. This spaghetti is second to none. Your beautiful voice is second to none. Okay, I will finish talking here. Thank you for watching. See you next time.